Ron G Morning Show, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WSAN Radio. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm Ron G with WSAN Radio, and every third Monday we have Martha Rice joining us. And I can't say enough about this young lady right here. She has a lot of things going on. She is a pillar in our community on things that she's bringing to everybody. And that's what we need, things for community to interact and talk to people. So without further ado, here is Martha Rice.
Thank you for that introduction, Ron. Ronald Gordon, I just want to, Darren, I want to introduce you to Ronald Gordon. He is the voice to the voiceless in San Antonio and around the world now. And he loves and is passionate about helping businesses get their name out there through his radio station. And so when we bring people on, it's because we want to highlight our guests and make sure that they are, that the world can see who they are and what they are doing. And so, Ron, I want to introduce you to Darren. Darren is a mind management coach, actually, partner with a leading health and wellness company. He's experienced throughout his brain recovery journey, his journey of brain recovery. He transforms others to do the same. And I just wanted to introduce you to before we get started.
Good morning, Darren.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. So before we get started, where are you from?
London,
London.
Yeah, like very close to London, just outside North London, near Tottenham.
Yeah, I like hearing that because we got somebody from Japan, now London. Man, like you said, Martha, we're going international, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We are going international because all of us have the same goal in mind, and that's to help others. And so that's what we're going to do. So, Darren, I want you to tell us and tell me, Ron, and the listeners, tell us about your journey and what made you get into man management.
Well, yeah. I'm 55, and in 1970, at the age of I was only 15 months old. Things were a lot different back then, and you had like on balconies and spiral staircases, the bars on these spiral staircases and balconies were not cut width like they are now. And I keep saying, like, no parent can keep an eye on their child 24/7. And I crawled out the back door. We lived in a ground floor flat, and there was 2 flats above, and there was a spiral staircase out the back. So my mum turned her back for like a couple of seconds, and I went out the back door, crawled up the spiral staircase, and the next thing she heard was a thud as I've fell. They don't know how far I fell, and I landed on my head and was in a coma for about 3 weeks. And I have said before that 3 weeks doesn't seem like a long time, but for a 15-month-old baby, it is a long time, and I lost those 15 months. So my parents were told if he comes out the coma, he's not going to do very much. He's not going to he's not going to do very good at school. His grades won't be good. His grades won't be very good. He won't be able to hold down a good job because his brain won't retain information. Now, back in 1970, the world didn't have MRI machines. So all they did was a CT scan and injected a dye into me to highlight the bits that they were looking at, but they didn't tell my parents how much what the damage had caused. Now I knew there was issues. We all knew there was issues as I was growing up. I landed on the left side of my head, which I don't know if people know, the left side of your brain operates the right side of your body and vice versa. So as I was growing up, um, I broke bones doing things that like a the average child would do and just carry on. Now I would break bones. I broke like I broke my wrist playing football, just catching the ball when I was in goal. Broke my leg, broke my arm, and broke loads of bones. So we knew there was an issue, and my my speech was slow. I would stutter, not stutter, but I would pause a lot. And as I was when I was at junior school, uh, when I was when I was at junior school, if kids would pick on me and I would retaliate by pushing them back or something, yeah, pushing them back. And I didn't realize how strong my left hand was because I was doing everything. I wasn't using my the right side of my body at all. So if if someone really took the mick out of me, I would retaliate. And I found out after a while that my arm was stronger than other people's kids my age. So um, I stopped. I in the end I would be picked on when I went to secondary school. I went through the whole of my um, time at secondary school, apart from about the last um, 4 months. I was picked on because I would not retaliate, and they just thought I was an easy target. And because I didn't want to retaliate and hurt someone. And it was only like near the end of school that I was sitting next to somebody who was supposedly the strongest person in the school, and he thumped me on my arm, and it was luckily my good arm. And I just turned around and said, "If you're gonna hit me harder than that." So he hit me harder, and I said the same thing, and I said it about 5 times. Each time he hit me, it was harder, and it did hurt a bit, but I wasn't. I just had it. I just had enough. So and I described this incident as my Rocky Balboa moment, because I hadn't even seen the film, but he says that in one of his fights where he was fighting somebody, like, hit me harder. And in the end, this bully walked out of the class and just said to everybody, "Leave Darren alone. I've hit him the hardest I can, and I can't hurt him. He's not retaliating, and I think I know he's not retaliating because he can probably hurt us if he hits us." So everybody left me alone. So, and I have people now saying to me when they've heard this story, they've actually said to me, who I in my class at school, so why didn't you do that in the first year at school, at secondary school? Because you would have been left alone. And yeah, I do regret that, but I did that. And so then when I left school, when the specialist had told my parents I wasn't going to do very good at school, which I didn't. My grades weren't great, but I managed to get into catering college, and I trained as a chef, which is like both physically hard and it's mentally hard as well, because you're doing like you're sometimes maybe doing three things at the same time, and it amazed my family that I did that. So uh, and I worked as a chef until I was about 32, 2001, 32 years old. I started to fall over. And going back a little bit, going back to like when I was 26, I was working in a kitchen, and was working in a kitchen, and somebody smashed their way into the restaurant after it had closed and punched me in the face. And I just we had to restrain him till the police come, and I felt okay. But I think as I went down, because I pulled his legs from under him, as I went down, I think I hit my head on the hit my head on the table, and side of the table. And the following day, I woke up with a trapped nerve in my neck, which I had for it took about 12 weeks to get better. And so since then, since like I was 26, my health had got started to slowly go downhill. And then when I was 32, my uh my left leg started to go into spasm, which was scary because it was my strongest side. And and I was also weak in my left arm at the same time. So when I went to see a GP, he said, "Right, that's it. I'm sending you for an MRI scan," and it was my very first MRI scan. And it come back, say I got the results, and a neurologist told me that if, and I actually see the MRI scan as well, a third of my brain, a third of my brain was dead. That was like I didn't realize. I knew there was some damage, but I didn't realize a third of my brain was dead. And then I had pressure on my spine in two places. That's why I was falling over. So it was in my lower back and in my neck, and that's why I was getting trapped nerves like every now and then. So yeah, so that's up till I was 32. So would you like to ask any questions, or shall I carry on?
Oh, we can carry on.
Carry on, yeah. So I went to see the so I saw this neurologist. It was the very first neurologist I'd ever seen, and he said, "Don't worry about it." I went like, "This third of my brain's dead. Like it's shocking." He was like this white cloud, and I just went, "What's that?" And he said, "That's where your brain's dead." And he goes, "Don't worry about it. You've had it for you've had this since your accident, yeah. You've had it for 30 years, and you're coping, yeah. So don't worry about it." But I did worry because I was thinking about the future, and I knew that like people as they get older, like in their maybe 50s, 60s, um, sometimes even earlier, you might have a stroke, and even if it was a minor stroke and it killed another part of my brain, if I had a minor stroke and it killed another part of my brain, what could the um, outcome of that be? What could that result? I could like end up like maybe being in a wheelchair, or I could even be dead. So it was scary. So for like about from 2001 till um 2019, I had routine MRI scans just to like check my back and check my brain to make sure everything was okay. And everything was, because um, and most people would think that as you get older, your brain your brain can only like either stay the same or degenerate, and that's what I thought. And um, yeah, so I was concerned about that. So as I was doing like at the age of 26, just as I got assaulted at work, I'd started another course and I retrained as a plumber, um, which I didn't end up doing because of I qualified, but I didn't do the actual job. I just did it for like friends and family if they needed anything done because my body wouldn't let me do it full time. And then because of the falling over, which sometimes I would fall out when I was working, when I was still working in catering, but I was like front of house, which was good because I was actually dealing with more people. I was really quiet at the time. And even if I went out with like friends for a meal, and like 4 or 5 friends who I've known for ages, I would not say very much because I thought my input to the conversation wasn't important. And so actually being in front of like being out like what they say front of house in catering, I was and it was a computer company, so I was talking to the same people every day, and it's at one time I think there was like over 1,000 members of staff, so it gave me more confidence. So my confidence was getting better, but there was still like issues. So then fast forward to 2020, where um, the world changed for everybody. Um, because I was in catering, I got put on furlough, and I can't stand sitting around doing nothing. So I decided to uh, do some courses. Now, yeah, I'm not. So when I was when I started falling over before COVID, I did this website design course because I thought if I do end up in a wheelchair, I could still work by doing a job where I'm sitting down. So I retrained as a website designer. And then, so when COVID happened, I started doing some online courses. Um, and one of my courses was a JavaScript programming language, which was useful for me website design. And I really hate the word um, normal, but someone has said to me, "Do you know what, Darren? Even with a normal brain, um, I could not do, I could not learn a computer programming language. So what you do just amazing. So that's like good. It like gives me confidence. So I started doing some other courses, and I was interested in how the brain worked because of like what had happened to me. So I did a neuropsychology course, and it at, at one stage in the course it started talking about something called neuroplasticity. Now, um, in some people don't know what neuroplasticity is, and um, the only way to like in like layman's terms really is when you hear people say rewire the brain, that is neuroplasticity because you're uh, doing things to uh, create new neuro pathways in your brain. So I thought I'm 50. I'm 51 now. I was 51 then, and I thought, oh, that's not going to happen to me. My brain is like 50 years old. That's not going to happen. So I left it. So I left the course for a little while, and I went on to some more courses, and I was doing like sometimes I was having like 5 courses on the go at the same time, and uh, that's possible. Some people might think, oh, that's quite a lot, but it's possible because you do that at school. You're doing like 5 or 6 um, different subjects when you're at school. So I was doing different things, and um, I did about 50 online courses on different subjects. Some more computer programming languages, some coaching courses on like confidence, emotional intelligence, and um, uh, forgiveness, and some other courses as well. And in 2021, I had to have a routine MRI scan, and after I had the MRI scan, the I get a letter in the post saying I've got to go to the top neurology hospital, neurology and neurosurgery hospital in London. And I was concerned. I thought there was an issue because it was the first time I'd ever been there, first time I've been asked, and I've been like having issues for like um, um, nearly 20 years. And so I go there, and the actually seen a neurosurgeon, which was like he's when he introduced himself as so his name and I'm a neurosurgeon. That was like uh worrying because I thought there was an issue. And he puts up this MRI scan that was done 6 months before. And he says, uh, right, this is your no, I went, that's not my MRI scan. And he goes, it is. And I went, it's not. There's no visible brain damage because you see a white cloud on the like grayish cloud on the area that's dead. And he said it is yours. And I went, it's not. And my dad was there. He was going, it's not his, but it's not his scan. There's and he just turned around and goes, that's the interesting bit. In 35 years of me doing this job, I've only seen this 3 times at this scale. And I think it's probably the amount of courses you've done. You've actually like stimulated blood vessels in your brain, and it pumped blood to the dead part, and it brought you back to life again. And I just like even now, like like nearly 3 years, 3 years has gone past, and I think, how is that possible? But it is, and it's not just um it's not just courses that have done this. It's exercise, it's diet, and um, so I left it. I left it for. Didn't do anything for about a year. I think nearly a year, and I thought, "Do you know what, if this neurosurgeon's only seen it 3 times, then and I'm number 3, then people don't know this is possible. So I just thought I've got to start going out and telling people and saying to people how amazing the brain is and what can be achieved. So I went back to my old school, which I left in 1985, just to like inspire one kid to think a little bit. One kid who was like me at school, to think a little bit more positive. And I ended up doing 4 assemblies. And the only year that I didn't talk to was the final year because they were doing their exams. And the first assembly, I thought, when I say I'm going to start by saying a third of my brain's dead. And I didn't get, I thought one kid would laugh. I thought someone's going to laugh because that's how kids are sometimes. But they were great. And they were, when they had the chance to ask me questions, they were asking me like really good questions and they were really interesting. And then like about, and I just really hoped that I'd like affected one kid out of the whole school, out of the 4 assemblies that I did. And a few weeks later, I actually was asked to put my story onto a local Facebook page because the administrator said people love inspirational stories, and yours is just amazing. So I put my story onto this Facebook page, and a few weeks later, someone contacted me. A parent contacted me, and it come up. And I knew that the day she contacted me was the day that she actually joined that Facebook page. And she said, "Are you the man who went into school to talk to the kids?" So I went, "Yeah, I was." And she said, "I'd like to thank you so much because my daughter has come home, told me your story, and said, if this man can do that, if I work hard enough, I can achieve anything." So I said, "Oh, I just been like, thank you very much, because that is what I wanted to do. Was to inspire one kid." And she turned around and she said, "Darren, you've inspired more people than me. Not you've inspired more people than just my daughter, because I'm the one that found you. Yeah, I found you on Facebook. The other people, they want to thank you, but they didn't know how to do it." So that gave me more like it inspired me even more to think, okay, I need to do more. So then I started thinking about like the adults, talking to adults, and um, I I was eventually told by our um, our work and pensions department, the UK's work and pension people. I did. They wanted me to health assessment, and they said I thought they were going to come back and say, right, he's only fit to do jobs where he's sitting down, but they actually come back and said he's you're unfit to do any type of traditional work. So they said, so you can't go and apply for jobs. But then somebody said to me, but if you want to do something yourself, you can do that, but you can't work around other people because you might actually fall over and hurt them. So I started making things out of. I started making candles to start with, because some people think that's a bit. Why are you doing that? And I went, because I'm using my nose because of the senses, the scents I'm putting in the candles. So I started doing that, and then I started making things out of resin, and then there was this program that I was put onto, like a work and health program, and they said, so why don't you do this full time? So I started to like think about doing it. I set up a website, and then they said, we're having an open day after relaunch, so would you come in and like have a table? So I went, yeah, okay. So I made these items and took them in, and they said, but you've got to do a speech. And the actual manager of this work and health program come up to me and said, Darren, you need to say your story from the beginning. So I did, and there was people from like the government, the like departments of the government, the head office of this work and health program, people from the job centre, and they were coming up to me afterwards going, do you know what? Your story is just so inspiring. So then I realized that adults do need to hear it, and so that's what's got me to where I am now. It's yeah. So, but it's not just about learning. It's about like exercise. Um, so even though I have issues with my legs with falling over. When I was on furlough, I was going out walking, and I was walking a lot in like stages. But I would like do say go for a walk, go home, sit down, go for another walk, go back, sit down, or go for a walk, sit down, have a coffee, then carry on walking, and then trying to do some upper body exercises and like meditation sometimes, and and the health, what I was eating. So I was looking at what I was eating as well, and realized that my body was not getting what it needed to get. So that's really important as well. And if I can, I will talk about that a little bit later. But if you want,
That is, you're right. That is important. It's interesting how I listened to your journey, and the two words that come to my mind is tenacity and resilience. And so it's interesting how you went, you had this fall, you start doing getting into learning about being a chef, you went to plumbing, all of these things that you accomplished throughout the time. You was tenacious about every time it looked like every time you saw a deficit, you went for what can I do to improve it? And I think that's a great thing. And to actually do that is very inspiring, because sometimes people give up. But even during like your stages of your younger, your young life, your young adulthood, and all of that, how you were bullied, and then you went to a restaurant and you was hit by someone. It's like all of these things that came into your way could have very well stopped you from moving forward, and could have paralyzed you mentally to move forward. But no, it didn't. And that's where the inspiration come in.
yeah,
And but before you move on, I think some people was trying to get into the call, and I just want to make sure that you knew that. I didn't know
okay,
if you wanted other people to join
definitely. The
to
I
join
want people.
inside to come inside the Zoom. You want people to come inside the
Yeah,
Zoom?
people. Yeah, I thought
Okay.
that's what was. I thought that was what was going to happen anyway. So
Oh, I just want to make sure that we
yeah,
didn't want to just
no,
interrupt. But if they want to come in, I guess
yeah,
Ron will let them in as needed. But that's what I wanted to make sure. But I just wanted to say that it's really good to hear how you move from one area to the next,
well,
uh, and how you even with your website design and everything, programming, and those are things that are difficult to learn in unless you're interested anyway. But those are difficult things to learn. But it's so nice to hear how you have moved forward. And so my question is, were you ever like during this whole journey, did you ever feel at any time paralyzed mentally to move forward? And if so, what did you do to overcome it?
I'd probably have to say, yeah, that I was um, so my right side of my body was like partially paralyzed, really, and it was only like when I was growing up, I would like catch balls with like my left hand, yeah, and my dad, who used to be a boxer, um, he like looked at me and just went, he's not doing anything with his right hand. So uh, some people might think it's a bit weird, but he tied my wrists together so that when my left hand went up to catch a ball, my right hand would go up at the same time. So it was, you could say that there was uh, maybe the start of um, neuroplasticity there through what he was doing. Um, but people have said to me, uh, catering, um, plumbing, and website design, they've got nothing in common. Um, and I always say, uh, yes, there is, because I say that um, if if uh, if you look at being a chef and you've got a plate, it's boring. Plate is boring, and then um, it's only when you get the ingredients and add infused flavors and the colors and textures that in the end the plate looks um, amazing. Uh, and then the same with plumbing. You can go into an empty room and you could turn that empty room into a amazing uh, bathroom, kitchen. Yeah, just so that is two things. And this lady who was doing a transferable skills course while I was like trying to get work. She knew what my qualifications was, and she said there was some people there like high up managers trying to get work, and they didn't know what transferable skills was. So I just said to her, "Can I try to explain it?" So she said, "You can't, not with your your courses." So I said, "Empty plate, turn it in, make it beautiful by infusing flavors and colors and all that. The the um, the empty shell of a room, turn it into a beautiful bathroom or kitchen, and then it's the same with website design. Unless it's got um, uh, images, colors, text, then if it hasn't got that, then you might as well not turn the computer screen on, because if it hasn't got that, it's just still going to be a blank screen." So she turned around and she said, "Do you know what? I didn't think you could actually do it, but you've actually given me um, the best example of transferable skills that I've ever heard, and I'm going to steal it. So I went, fine. So she said she wanted to use it. So yeah.
That
So
is a great analogy. Actually, it is a great analogy.
and
Welcome.
and
I just want to welcome Claudette to the call.
a later a
Hello.
later hello Claudette. A
Hi.
later while I was doing the courses, especially the neuropsychology course, I found out that um like what what side what um if I was a right brain thinker or a left brain thinker. Now I knew I was a right brain thinker because the left side of my brain was dead. So, but then I realized, then I found out why why I was doing the things that I was doing, the jobs I did, was because the right side of your brain is the creative side, and the the left side of the brain is logical. So when I was doing the when I started to do the JavaScript programming language, I was slowly activating the right left side of my brain because it's all logical, and then it started to um, flow from there. And yeah, so now I don't actually know what side of the brain, what if I'm a right brain thinker or left brain thinker. So
You
yeah,
probably both.
yeah, I'm probably both.
So,
Um,
Ron, do you have any questions for him before I finish? Before I go to the next
Okay.
question?
I could relate with him because when I was growing up, I had a very bad stuttering problem. I was picked on, called dumb, stupid, all that in the world. And you're right, because sometimes you have to be patient. And that's what we find out a lot of people are not really patient with you. They don't take the time out to listen to you. And I was shunned every time I started talking. He don't know what he's talking about, just walk away. But eventually I learned how to overcome the stuttering problem. So I feel you when you said that that was going on with you. I applaud you for what you're doing.
Thank you. And it's not. I do keep saying this. What I am, what I'm trying to do with the like telling my story is not to say, look at me, look what I've done. It's to say, look what's possible. And that's why created I've created a course for um for people to like maintain or increase their cognitive ability, and I've put uh, two ways that people can contact me. They can contact me via my email, and I'm also they can also contact me via LinkedIn if they're on there. But then also, um, like we've said, it's uh, for your body, for your. I didn't really actually think about this at the time, but I was because I changed my diet. Um, when you're if you're the cellular health, you've got like uh, millions and millions of neurons in your brain, in your body, even in your gut. Now, if you're keeping your brain healthy by doing, I was keeping my brain healthy by doing all the courses. But if your gut is not healthy, then that can, that is sometimes called the second brain. The gut is called the second brain. So if you're not eating the right things and your body is not getting enough omega-3, then there's a well, like for a membrane to function properly, it needs to have like this is I started looking at this, and for each cell has a membrane that for it to function properly, it needs the right balance of fats, especially omega-3 and omega-6, which which they do different things. Yeah, omega-3s, and there's one especially that's called DHA, and then EPA. These make your cell membrane soft and flexible, allowing nutrients to flow in and waste to flow out. They also reduce inflammation, which is crucial for brain health. Then omega-6, these are important, but when we consume too many, as we often do in modern diets, they cause inflammation and make our cell membranes stiff. Now, for the ideal ratio for omega-3 and omega-6 is 3 to 1. So that's 3 omega-6 to 1 omega-3, or lower. But the average modern diet pushes this ratio to 15 to 1 and even 25 to 1. That imbalance isn't just bad for your body, it's a disaster for your brain. And there's a company. The only way to actually get the to check if your cells are in balance is by doing a blood spot test. And this blood spot test tests for 11 fatty acids, and this can pick up. There's hidden inflammation in your body, but this blood spot test will pick up those imbalances, and it can then give analysis of what your body's got too much of and what your body's not got enough of. So so then there's only one company in the world that is that does this this blood spot test, that you do the blood spot test, and then you'll get and it gets sent off, it gets tested, and then you find out what you need to do to get your body back into balance. And what usually happens is what happens is you do the blood spot test, and then you get the analysis back, and you can get your body back into balance within 120 days. And so what happened? So after 121 days, you then do another blood spot test, and your hopefully your
So they compare the results.
yeah, you compare the results, and then you can get your body back into health. And that is all. That's I mentioned that because it's very important. So it's not just about making sure your brain is healthy. Your gut has to be healthy as well, because if your gut is not healthy, the cells will get that goes around your body, and it could deposit plaque onto your brain, which would then maybe cause like
brain fog and
brain fog, dementia. But this blood spot test will give you an idea of what can happen. Now I've put a link in the chat with a Zoom
I
link,
see that.
yeah, in the chat. If anyone wanted to attend the attend the talk, which I didn't put a time in. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? The top so 7:30 p.m. tonight. So that is, what is that? That is that's 1:30 1:30 CST. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's
yeah,
6 hour difference, right?
yeah. 1:30 CST, and it's and it would be the talk will be by somebody who an expert who knows a lot more than what I do, but it's very worth attending. So
So tell us about this this course that you have. Is this part of the course or?
no, so the course is something that I've been working on, and it's a 12-week course, and I would have a one-to-one with a potential person who's interested in doing it. Have a one-to-one with a person, find out like what they do, what hobbies they've got, and then that's the first session. The first session is not included in the 12-week plan. So then I will then sit down, work out a individual program for them to do after, and try to like stimulate the other part of the brain that they don't use. Just give them some tasks, and each week we have a one-to-one, and possibly even like a group thing with other members, so other clients, so they can discuss what issues they've got. And if they do not, if after 12 weeks there's not a noticeable improvement on what they actually joined the program for, then they will continue getting support, and they've got so they've got Zoom calls, text support, WhatsApp, and whatever help they need, they would get, because I just feel that the information that I've learned, people need to know, because it can definitely help. You can never say it will definitely help. It would definitely stop it, but it could definitely help. But if you're keeping your brain stimulated, and your body healthy, then it will help prevent like vascular dementia, um, Alzheimer's. It could help so much, and it could like with the talk that people could join later, then that would even help like your heart. So it's everything. So
Okay.
yeah.
So any questions from anybody before I finish? Nothing. Okay. So do you have you had an issue where, do you believe that your course would be beneficial if you are already in the middle of Alzheimer's? If you're already there?
If you're already there, I don't think it would be very hard. It could be possible to help, but it would be very hard, because just going through my own situation, my mum has vascular dementia, and it came on so quick that now it would be hard for her to do something like this kind of course. I tried to do things. I tried to get her to like squeeze
So
my
this is
hand.
this is a course for prevention of it.
Prevention, yeah.
Okay.
Help, yeah, to help prevent. So yeah, so the talk tonight is about for like to get your omega 3 6 balance correct, which will help your body even better. But yeah, and then the course is for just the brain.
Okay. And so just for the audience, what is the cost of your course?
The cost of the course, it's that is it's on an individual basis. So some people could be like not need as much help. So it'd be the individual.
Okay. Based off of individual. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you put in the chat how they can reach you, correct?
Yeah,
and
so they can contact me through they can contact me via my email address, darrenscottjewell@hotmail.com. My website is I'm working on my website, so I can't put that. They can contact me via LinkedIn.
awesome.
And then you've got a link for the chat for the balance test, which is the only company in the world that does this prescribed blood spot test at the moment. Yeah, I'm doing something.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Darren, for joining us and coming on and sharing your, your experience and your journey and with us. It was very helpful, um, and we just want to thank you for sharing all that you shared and your time that you've given us. And so happy that you decided to coach and to help other people, and your heart is in the right place to do so. So, Ron, do you have any further questions before we end?
No, I enjoyed this. This is very educational for me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me, because I think all of this can help a lot of people, hopefully. So I've also, as most of your listener is, you're in America. I'm also on the International Business Weekly magazine. So people can, if people wanted to find out more about me, I'm on there. But
We can add that
sadly,
link. We can add that link as well. Yes.
yeah, sadly, it's not available in the UK. So just, I didn't put the seventh. Claudette has put the time in for the talk tonight. So thank you, Claudette. I was just about to do that. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining, Claudette and Darren, and we so happy to have had you. And thank you, listeners, for joining in on this conversation, and hope that it is helpful. If it is, please share, and so that other people can get the help that they need as well. So giving it back to Ron.
All right. I enjoyed everybody being on. I will send the link to you, Martha. You can share with Darren on a YouTube channel. So I'll have that all edited in for y'all by this afternoon.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right. Appreciate everybody.
Have a great Monday.
Yeah, a great Monday with Martha. She's on here every third Monday of the month. I'm gonna put that out there. That's not a disclaimer. That's just to let everybody know how you get a hold of her. And happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays to you guys.
Have a nice Christmas, everyone.
All right.
And we'll talk to everybody
and a great new year.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to WSAN Radio. Catch us on our YouTube channel, WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button.